Testing, testing. Oh, do I get this whole cast?
I was like, did I spread out too far?
Hello.
You're gonna,
I'm just taking up
you
the
can just lounge about there.
You get the
They're
center.
being fed cherries.
If you change your mind, there's plenty of room if anyone wants to come join me. How are you guys today?
If anyone wants to be my Valentine, it's right here.
Yeah, right. I guess this is fitting. We don't really see Toph flirt with anyone on the show either, so. You know.
You can't see me, I should tell you. I'm rolling my eyes.
Okay.
Friends, welcome to Miami.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome back. We did this dance a couple of years ago, and it's good to see the two of you again. And Michaela, thank you for joining us here this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No,
Fun to be back.
absolutely, absolutely. So, what I would love to do is I've heard these stories before, but I would love to share it with the audience. Let's just go back to the beginning. Literally, how did these roles begin for each of you? When did it blip on the radar, and what was the casting process like?
I read for mine like just way ahead of time, and I kind of forgot about it. And then about 3 months later, they came back to me and said, you got the part, and I was like, oh yeah, that was an interesting one. And they said that I was the only one who didn't yell because there was a lot of the speech we had to do was the tides. Do the tides command this ship? Let's worry less about the tides who've already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me, who's still mulling it over. And I think a lot of people were like, do the tides command this ship? Like yelling at everybody. So I was like, she's so powerful, she doesn't need to yell. So, got it.
Those,
Very cool.
It's like finding a $20 bill in a pocket of something that came out of the laundry. Those things you audition and it's a one and done, and then like when you've totally forgotten about it, it's oh wait, I did? Oh yes, I did.
You have to just forget about it, or else it'll drive you crazy.
Anytime you invest anything in it, you absolutely will not get it. That's the rule. That's
There's
the
one
law.
from a few years ago. It was like really cute kids show with like I think it was a bunch of dinosaurs. I don't know exactly all the details, but there was singing involved, so I had to like learn multiple songs, and there was like the specific art given. It was a whole thing, and I got like too attached to that one specifically because I was like, come on, I make such a great little dinosaur, and I just heard nothing back, and I was like, see, I can't care.
There's a thing also when you leave the audition room and the director goes, are you available in February? First part of February, you're like, oh my gosh, they're asking
happening.
me.
They're asking me.
I'm leaving right now. And then you're never going to get that one. That's not the one. I think that's what they say to people who they're like, we don't want to make them feel bad. Let's ask for if they're available, just to make. I don't know.
It's funny too that people think that they're a little more polite. When you don't get a part, they tell you didn't get a part. No, you just never hear back ever. Another day, every day goes by, you go, okay, I didn't get it. No, not gonna.
Or you think you're in something. They don't tell you you've been cut. And then you tell everyone. Has that ever happened to you? Oh God,
Not yet. But
I've
see,
told
that's
everybody like you got to watch. I'm gonna, and then it's like I'm watching. Even in the credits are still rolling, and I'm thinking maybe I'm in the little thing that's scrolling next to the credits. Maybe it's like a little after thing that happens. But no.
I hate it when you bump into somebody who's peripherally connected on that side, and then they say something like, "Oh, your name came up the other day. Did someone reach out to you?" Oh no. And they didn't. And it's like you get like for what, for who, for whatever. Oh well, they'll reach you, I guess. Yeah.
It's like when you're dating someone and every person's like, I used to have the biggest crush on you, and it's like, well, you tell me now.
why are you telling me this now? This is not helpful anymore.
I like to freak them out by going, I'm not seeing anybody. What were you gonna, what were you gonna?
Would you like to do something about that? We'll answer your question, the rest of us. Similarly, I had been acting for a few years, and I actually voiced Mang in season 1 of Avatar first. She had a crush on Aang, called Katara Floozy. It was a great time. But that was my first role in Avatar, and that came through as just another audition. I had been with my agency for a few years doing like mainly background stuff and like ADR looping stuff for voiceover, and then I just started to do some more main guest starry kind of roles with like Chaca in Kronk's New Groove, Emperor's New School, Young Franny Meets Robinsons, all that sort of thing. And then I was Mang, and apparently that's when they were thinking of making Toph a girl, because initially Toph's character art was supposed to be more bro-y, kind of like Bolin in Korra. And they were like, something, we're playing with this idea, and they were talking about maybe having her be like this tough kind of tomboyish girl. And apparently, according to Giancarlo, one of the directors, when I came in and voiced Mang, they were like, hey, that might be our Toph. Can we call her back? Give her Toph audition whenever it's done. And And so they did, and I did not know it was the same project. So I auditioned for Toph a little bit later, and they liked me. And so then I came back as Toph. So I actually hadn't seen Avatar until a decent time after, because I didn't have cable, so I kind of caught it on Friends TVs and DVD sets once they were out, but I mainly just read the script and then like watched in the studio if they had any animation done. But that's kind of a fun little tidbit about Toph.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I know. It's like
She was a little girl when
yes,
I knew her.
I-
She
yes.
was a little girl.
Yeah.
But we take streaming sources like for granted now
yeah.
so much. And
It was
yeah,
really
you had
hard
to
to
get
tell people
acclimated. Somebody got a DVD set I can
Where
look
to
this
find-
up on.
Literally, that's we were like, oh, can I watch it somewhere? I was like, you can buy the DVD set at Target. Like that's what we did. So Netflix made
But
it
don't go to Target.
easier. And, right. Not Amazon either. Oh no, Barnes and Noble.
My kids were like, "Is there any?" I was like, "We're not drinking Coke. They're mean to Mexican people. No,
Yeah.
And they're like, "There's nothing we can eat, or we can't shop anywhere ever anymore."
Isn't Barnes and Noble safe? Barnes and Noble is nice, aren't they? I think I saw them on a nice list. I don't know.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream, at
Ah,
least.
Ben and
We
Jerry's.
can always
They're
depend on
great.
them.
Yes.
I think.
Maybe they'll sell the Avatar DVDs.
That would be. What would a Ben and Jerry's Avatar inspired flavor be?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
This is this has nothing to do with Avatar, but it is, there are some Asian flavors. But I've always wanted an ice cream that's Thai tea flavored ice cream with a marshmallow ribbon and broken up fortune cookies in it. Wouldn't that be good?
That sounds really good.
Hold on
Honestly,
a second.
that sounds
Wait a
great. I want
minute.
some of
That
that now.
sounds good.
Think of ice cream flavors because my friend used to make ice cream at home, and I used to always come up with flavors. And
that
he's like,
sounds yummy.
We never did make it, but that would be good.
That would be good. I feel like
I want some.
Toph's earthbending. It would lots of
Green
similar
tea.
dirt. I don't know. Is it like Rocky Roan? I mean, haha.
No, that would make sense. And I wrow, of course,
Mix in extra
jasmine
dirt.
tea ice cream.
Yeah,
of
green
course,
tea-
green tea ice- yeah.
cream.
Yours would be
which,
just a whole
which
tea
exists.
line. Maybe mine would have like gummy worms, one of those kind of gross ones that
Yeah,
has like
that
extra
mud,
things
you
in
know,
it.
that-
Those
that-
little like
that-
rock chocolates.
Yeah, the cookie,
like,
crushed up Oreos
Yeah.
that looks like dirt.
Exactly.
You know?
That's kind of the earthbending way. I feel like. How did you find your way to the role, Mr. Greg Baldwin?
Well, it all began back in 1977. And I'm just out of curiosity, was anyone in this room alive in 1977, or am I the only one?
Raise your hand if you were alive in 1977. We've got one, two,
right.
three,
All right.
Yeah, we got.
Free march
five.
for that guy right there.
5 people, I think. See, you're doing great.
Still alive. That's good. I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be an actor. So 10 years old, I think. And from that point on, all I wanted from my parents for Christmas or my birthdays was albums from Broadway shows of the time. And for my 17th birthday, 1977, they got me the cast album from a show called Pacific Overtures, written by Stephen Sondheim, and it starred an actor named Mako Aramatsu. And this very quickly became, if you're not familiar with the musical, they have literally the entire production with Mako in it is available on YouTube, and you should watch it. But this became my favorite musical of all time. I would sing along with the cast, over and over again. And my parents are like, shut up in there. And what I didn't realize, that every time I was singing along, I was actually working on an impression of Mako, which came in very handy in 2006 when he passed away, and they were looking for a voice match. And I remember the day, they say that when one door closes, another door opens, and I can absolutely tell you that that is true. I had sent in my voice match, they had asked me, and I sent it in, my agent. I didn't hear anything back, and didn't, I thought, well, maybe. I think my Mako's pretty good, but again, forget about it. At this point in my life, I was working as a paralegal for the Walt Disney Company in Burbank. And I'd been with them 13 years, and the angel of death, the HR rep, came in. There were layoffs, in the air. I know, once you see the HR rep, you're done for. And it's like, yeah, I was laid off. And my kids were probably in high school at this point, or close to it, and they were about to be going to college. And I'm like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? This is the most terrible thing. And within an hour, my agent calls and says, Nickelodeon just called you. Their #1 pick for Iroh. They want to see you at the studio next week. So that's how and then I think it was like 4 auditions. By the last audition, it was literally everyone. There were so many people in that room. The suits from Nickelodeon were there. Everybody was there. Andrea said after I finished, okay, we're going to turn off our mic because we're going to all be out here talking about you. And I remember looking at them talking about me animatedly going, I wish I knew what they were saying, because I knew that potentially this was going to be a life-changing thing, and thank goodness, I get to be up here, and I get to be up here with you guys, and have this cool life for an older gentleman born in 1960. I was already 17 in 1977, so yeah, forget about it.
I've heard that story so many times, but I get excited every time you
know.
say, and they're
I
like
know.
an hour later, I'm like, what?
It's
What
so
happened an hour
exciting.
ago?
Wait a
And
minute,
then what happened?
I just told that for the first time. Really? You've heard it before?
No,
No.
never
I
before.
I've heard that story.
Never
I'm
before.
so invested, and I'm like, yay!
It was, you mentioned lots of people being in the room. The really cool thing about Avatar, there's multiple cool things about Avatar, as many of you know, but it was a very collaborative process. I remember there being lots of people in the booth, like listening or sitting in on a session often. Mike and Brian were around a lot to listen to us record, and that's not normal. A lot of times it's just the director or like the audio session person, and that's kind of it. And then you record your stuff and then you leave. And so it was very cool having multiple people like working like the booth and the mics and the directing and all that, and having Mike and Brian, sometimes Giancarlo, sometimes other directors from different episodes, or some of the artists would just come and sit and just like listen to us record. It was very cool. I didn't realize that that was so not normal until like doing growing up and seeing other things, and I'm like, oh wow, like it was really a little unit. And I think that probably contributed to what makes it feel so special too when you're watching it.
I remember I was so new to this whole world. Again, I've just been a paralegal at Disney with a few things. I just remember going, wait a minute, all this food in the green room is totally free? I can just eat this? This is fantastic. I love it.
did love the popcorn. I did love the fresh popcorn. That was nice.
I took care of my grandmother before she died, and so I dragged her to every session I did, and she would steal food from all the green rooms. She did all of her grocery shopping at all the jobs that I would bring her to. And then she would fall asleep out in the lobby. I'm Mexican and Irish, so nobody knew we were related, so they would come in and go, there's a little old Mexican lady sleeping out in the lobby. And I'm like, yes, that's my grandmother. She's done her shopping for the day, and now she's tired. So she's tired of robbing the studio blinds.
So funny. My gosh.
Well, friends, thank you so much for indulging my capricious curiosity. I'm going to jump in the audience now and get some of their fantastic questions. Let me just
Amazing.
load up my candy
Wow,
here.
you are, candy loaded.
Well, everybody who asks a question gets a piece of candy, as long as they obey the rules.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, so
Cool.
All right, so everybody, who wants to be first? Whoever goes first will get 2 pieces of candy. No, you got to come to me. I'm not doing it Donahue style. We got to do it here because our camera's here.
There's a couple people who might not be able to.
I will go to them. So, all right. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Colin.
Hello.
Hello.
I didn't exactly get a chance to see you guys last week in Orlando because it was a packed mess. I think that's the fair way to summer it up. So, when it
I
comes
wasn't
to
there, so you didn't miss much.
so when
it
it
wasn't
Don't flatter
complete.
yourselves. You were never even players. Anyway, go ahead.
so
It-
like, have you guys seen like the Netflix one or the Shyamalan one, and how do you
There was a
compare
Shyamalan.
those?
Wait, what are you
There is
talking
no
about?
movie in Boston Say.
The Shyamalan?
No.
What is that?
No. Yeah, we've seen, I've seen
I haven't seen the new
the
one.
Netflix.
No.
She's busy.
No, and then I started, speaking of my political craziness, but I boycotted Netflix because they were raising the price, and I was like, your shareholders are these billionaires. Anyway, so I deleted
she deleted it.
But yeah, so I'll
Good
never
for
probably
you.
see it. But that's fine. I love the cast. We've run into them at these cons, and they're all so lovely. So I'm very happy that there's a new generation, taking over the.
I've seen it, but I am excited for 2 and 3, obviously, to meet other Toph. But also, I think that when, network stuff is kind of annoying because they had to do season 1 because they weren't sure that they were going to get greenlit for season 2 and 3. And I feel like you can always tell when something is structured to potentially be the only thing that's made. And it's like, I'm excited because since 2 and 3 got greenlit together, I'm hoping it'll feel a little more cohesive, and like now that we're gonna have Toph added in there, it's gonna like fill out the gang. So like I liked season 1, and I think they did a great job at like adapting into live action and taking what was so beloved as an original and turning it into kind of a new version without just copying and pasting, but still staying true to the character. It's a very hard job. So I think they did a good job with that. But I am excited to hopefully have it feel a little more like settled in a little. I felt like there was a lot to keep track of. So I'm excited. I'm excited for season 2. We will see.
I believe we are having dinner with Netflix Iro next Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think
Great.
in Vancouver. Yeah, Sunday
Oh,
night.
yes, yes, yes.
We're gonna have dinner with
That's
him.
right. Yeah, Uncle Iroh 3.0.
3.0. We're having dinner with 3.0. I am 2.0. I watched 2 episodes of it on an airplane, and there are distractions on an airplane, you know. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm going to watch this. I'm going to give it the attention it deserves. I'm going to go home and watch all 8 hours of it at home. The problem is, especially this year, I'm home so rarely. When I'm home, you know, no offense, the last thing I want to do is watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that's sort of like taking my work home with me, you know. So I'll watch Invincible. It's something the complete opposite, you know.
Something like Good Invincible.
Hey, there's a new season. I'm going to watch it in my hotel.
We just did an episode yesterday too.
So funny.
I was sitting next to, behind a kid on the plane who was watching Avatar, the old one, you know, and Mike and Azula was up there giving some speech, and I was
that's
like,
so
oh my god,
funny.
I want to just like through the cracks just be like,
You miscalculated. You should have feared me more.
Did
Anyway,
you? Do you
I
do
didn't
that?
say anything because my older son was with me, and he was like, I was like, should I tell him? Like, and he's like, no, Mom. Oh my God,
No.
just stop
No,
it.
no.
And I was like, but I think, and he's like, just Mom.
You should.
People are gonna look at us, and then people are gonna start talking. And I just
Well, he should get over it because his mom is cool, so he needs to relax. You probably should. I find a fun way is just be like, oh, are you a fan of this show? Like, see if they're a fan or not. Because if they're not and they're just watching it, just be like, oh, it's great. Like, you should keep watching it. But if they're like, yeah, I love this show, and then then it's a good make their day. Yeah.
You know, that's literally, that's why I have, I'll show you.
Oh boy, here we go.
I have the lotus tile. So if somebody says, you know, oh, I love your tattoo, and I'll say, oh, you know what this is? And they go, oh, that's White Lotus. I love that show. And then I can go, oh, your mind is about to be blown, my friend.
So yeah, there you go.
Good way to start us off with. Thank you. Woohoo. All right, who wants to go next? Like I said, we do a line here and all that fun stuff. Hey, what's your name?
Jose.
Jose, what you got for us?
So all of you have both done voice work in the original Avatar show, and in one capacity or another, you guys returned to Legend of Korra. How was the experience different the second time around? Obviously, being a new show and returning to that universe so many years after doing the original.
I voiced my own daughter, so that was kind of funny and fun. They reached out. I was kind of taking a pause from just acting in general. I thought I wanted to be a heart surgeon, so I was studying a bunch of science in high school. Lots of things happened. So I got a call like a couple years later. I was like 15, 16, and they were just like, hey, can you send us a quick voice sample? Like, we're pretty sure you sound the way we think you do, but we just want to make sure. And I was like, sure. And they're like, we'd love for you to just hop in and do a quick little guest thing for this one episode. And it was really lovely returning back to the studio. I thought the studio was so fun. My sessions for recording were always very short with Toph because oftentimes I was either alone or maybe only with like one other person, maybe Gray or Dante or May were like there. And so usually 30 minutes, maybe an hour, very quick. And so coming back, I was like, yay, it's like still kind of the same. And one of my favorite things was Andrea, our lovely director, who is incredible and probably directed most of everyone's childhoods. She still had, I gave out, my stage name is Jessie Flower at the time. I was 6 years old. I wanted to change my name, so my mom let me. But I gave out little flowers for Christmas, like holiday presents that were like, you push the button and they collapse and then it like springs back up. And I was like, happy holidays from Jessie Flower, and it's a flower, ha ha ha. And when I came back after all those years, Andrea still had hers on her desk next to her computer. And so that was like a really cute moment. I was like, she still has the flower. And she did not have a lot on her desk. She had like 5 things. And so the fact that my flower was there, I was like, I am honored. That was a moment. So it was really cool coming back.
You know, we originally Avatar, I was terrified the whole time because, again, I had sort of been plucked out of this job, and I'm going, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm in the same room as Gray DeLisle and Dante Bosco and all these huge people. It's like, by the time I did Korra, I was starting to get used to the idea and maybe feeling like I wasn't stealing the green room
And
food.
now he's
That I was
such a
sort of,
jerk.
I know. Now I'm Hollywood. You know,
Full
now
of
I'm going through
himself.
my Elton's phase at this point. You know,
Can't look him directly in the eyes. It's like weird.
Don't.
It's like, are these green M&Ms? I said specifically.
Well, I don't have any flowers, but here, have a piece of candy. All right.
Thank you.
And who is that? Hey, hi, what's your name?
David Adley.
Hey, David, what do you want to know?
Will you guys be returning as new characters in the newest Avatar show?
No, but not me, but he had the great idea that we should be the Ember Island players, and I thought that was
Absolutely.
such a good idea.
You know, that would if the studio executives, you know, will do. But having worked at Disney, studio executives sometimes aren't the smartest people in the world. You don't never expect them to make the right decision. You know.
Yeah, as of now, I don't think any of us are coming back for any of the new Avatar Studio stuff or the Netflix stuff. Obviously, if they invite us back, we'd love to. But new generation of
Asian
Avatar.
American actors, which I'm really happy because
Yeah,
it's
cool.
time. You know, yeah, we've been. Yeah.
I'm of course a little like bummed because of course Toph would be so much fun, but also, yeah, we just are going to create a little Toph tribe now. There's going to be multiple Tophs, so.
And, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, even though we will be replaced, there's going to be other voice actors and actresses, but we're Kirk's Enterprise, man. At the end of the day, we're Kirk's Enterprise. That's not a bad place to be.
It's so fun to come do these things and meet people that are like, oh my God, I grew up. You just have no idea what effect you've had on people's lives. It's so these cons have become my life. I still do cartoons during the week, but this has become my main job now is doing these, and I love it. So yeah, it's fun.
Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Bryant. First off, I had no idea you were in Emperor's New Groove. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Second off, I was wondering, how would you react if you three met your respective characters? Would you vibe with them or anything?
I would run and hide.
I drink with them. I think we get along very well. You know, I think, you know, yeah, tea's great, Iro, but if you tried tequila, thank you very much. You know.
He's here all weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell you a joke about Toph, but I don't think she'd see the humor. Thank you very much. I tell you a joke about Zuko, but it might leave him scarred. Thank you, thank you. I'm here till Sunday.
It's so good. It's so
It's all
bad.
right. You
It's
can
so
laugh.
good.
It's funny.
You would like those
I
jokes.
think Toph
Azula
and I
would like
would
those jokes.
chill. I mean, I would probably try to have her teach me some sort of earthbending in an attempt to try and learn it as well. I have attempted to earthbend myself, so I feel like, has anyone here tried to bend? Has anyone like stood in their living room or their yard and just tried to bend? Okay, we got like 3 people, so we can be crazy together. Great, but I think we would just hang out. She's not particularly activity oriented, you know. She's just like wants to hang. She likes to hang in the swamp. She likes to hang with the badger moles. Just relax after the stresses of being under, you know, generational wealth family trauma that she's like, I don't want to do any of that anymore. So I don't know. I'd just ask if she has any sage advice. It depends on her age, but I feel like hanging out with like 30-year-old Toph would be interesting, which maybe we get to see with the new Avatar Studio stuff, because that would be cool. Yeah, I feel like we'd all get along with our characters pretty well, aside from hiding and maybe her attacking you.
Fun question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Dylan. So I heard you guys were making a new Avatar movie. I don't know if you guys are in it or any news on it.
So yeah, we're not in that one either. I think it's set to come out the beginning of next year. I think it was sometime like end of this year, or maybe January of next year. I think it was originally supposed to be October, and then I think it just got scooted to January. They released some article somewhere that said that. So I think next January is when the new Avatar Studio stuff is going to start making its way to you. There's a couple movies and a new series in the works, and then obviously the Netflix live action is also happening soon. So lots of Avatar stuff next year for sure is going to be happening.
So stay tuned.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
stay tuned.
Yes. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Gunnar. So my question is, through already existing media or shows, is there a character that you wished you voiced?
Yes, multiple, just because they're fun. But I auditioned, I got so many callbacks to be Princess Bubblegum in Adventure Time, and that was, I know! And me and Jeremy, who voices Finn, Shada, and I were like kind of kid actor friends, and so we were like at a lot of auditions together for on-camera stuff and voiceover stuff, and so then he was doing that too, so it was like this cool little moment. It was like, oh my gosh, are we both gonna do this show? This is so fun. And then it wasn't me, and I was like, no! But that's okay. So that would have been great. As far as just other things that are completely unrelated, I have an audition for. I think Sailor Moon is very fun. That was like my first comic purchase. I found like these 4 comics at a yard sale when I was like 7, and I was like, what is this? These are so cool. They were like black and white little books. It was cool. So anything Sailor Moon would just be so fun, because I know they just did like a new version, so it's probably not going to be happening again anytime soon. But Sailor Moon World would be cool, and a Disney princess at some point. I don't know. What's on your guys'?
Actually, I was Disney's second choice for Pumbaa.
Really?
Which would have been great, you know. And I always thought they were giant balls of gas burning billions of miles away. I thought it was pretty solid, but number 2
Number two's
num-
the shit.
Yeah, number
I
two
know,
is
right?
number two. It's nothing. I would have liked it though. Would have been cool. Would have been awesome.
I play the Ice Queen on Adventure Time. We're doing
Really?
Fiona and Cake now. The
This is just
the,
killing
the
me.
female
The
version.
knife.
Stay tuned. It's gonna be really good. The scripts are really funny. And I wanted to be Snow White. I played Snow White
Oh.
as in college at kids' parties and stuff all
Yeah.
the time. And so when that voice came out, and I also loved Mary Kay Bergman so much, she did Snow White. And anyway, it would have been an honor. But
Cute.
What's a character you'd like to do?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. Any kind of villain. I love villains.
Ah,
There you go.
Ew.
Great question. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Mark. Nice to meet you guys. A quick question for Gray and then a question for the three of you.
Yeah, you get one question. So do the question for all three of them.
Ooh.
What would be your guys' favorite and least favorite lines you've ever had to voice?
Oh. My favorite line is, "That's a sharp outfit, Chan. Sharp enough to puncture the hull of an Empire-class Fire Nation battleship, leaving thousands to drown at sea because it's so sharp."
And my least favorite is I was on this show called Shin Shan. It was like a Japanese show that they dubbed into English, but the English scripts were so terrible. Like they just weren't funny or anything, and everything on that was terrible. And I also did that Rhapsody Kids like terrible Christmas special. If everybody's seen it,
Oh my
if you go
gosh,
on
yeah.
YouTube and look at it. It's like the worst Christmas special ever made.
So funny. Do you want to go?
No, I'm
You have
trying to
yours?
think of my
Okay,
least favorite.
you
I
think-
haven't come up with anything.
Gosh, I feel like there's so many good ones. I really love Meet the Robinsons. Any Meet the Robinsons fans? We've got a couple. Okay. Oh, we've got more than a couple. Okay. It's very hit or miss because you find people who like love it and then people who just didn't see it. I love that movie. I love young Franny. Her whole moment of just her little frog freak out felt very near and dear to my heart of just, I teach frogs music. You think I'm crazy too, don't you? Like that whole moment. And just... I don't know. I love her so much. So that whole little section is probably my favorite. I consider her to be my spirit animal of all the characters I have voiced so far. I feel like she and I are very tight. Least favorite, similar to Gray, very questionable anime dubbing English scripts. And sometimes I get a say and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Let's change it, please. And then other times I don't. So I'm trying to think of just like one. Man, sometimes they're so flat sometimes, and then also they're trying to cram like 18 words into 2 seconds or like 2 words into 10 seconds. And I'm like, what is happening? So yeah, that's there's not a specific one that's like popping into my head. I'm trying to think. Oh, there was this one looping project. Okay, this is very random. There's this one looping project. It was in French, and they needed to do English dub. And it was just terribly done. And I think they were like getting ready to like leave to go to like a theme park or something. And it was just like, okay, let me get bag. Thanks. Or something. It was like, it was terrible. And they wouldn't let me change it. So I was like, oh, it hurts.
It hurts when you're acting bad material.
Yeah. I don't do well with bad material.
It's really like
your stomach just turns a little.
My favorite is from The Legend of Korra. It's my favorite Iroh line. It's, if you look for the light, you will often find it. If you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. And my least favorite, just because I think I suck in the scene specifically, it wasn't so much the line. This is actually my performance. Iroh is actually easier to voice than Aku, because Iroh is very much on one level, and Aku is all over the place. And the scene in, I think it's the second episode in season 5, where Aku is both the psychiatrist and the patient, and he's sort of counseling himself. And I can't listen to that. It's like, oh, how did you get this? But by the end of Samurai Jack, I'm finally starting to get into it. But that scene, I think, oh, man, Baldwin, you suck. How did you get this gig, you know? I'm going to have to go back and be a paralegal again, and I don't want to be a paralegal again.
Mandy's scripts are only like 2 pages long. But I loved those. I played the High Priestess in Samurai Jack and a few other things like Josephine Clench and all kind. But it would be like a 2-page script, and they were like double-spaced lines, and there was probably like 12 lines in the entire thing because it was so. He's such a great animator, Gendy Tartakovsky, that it was just beautiful. It was more of a visual storytelling than anything.
I made the mistake, I think, of one of the first ones. They sent along the storyboards, and I printed them out. And because it's Gendy, it was like this thick. I mean, it was a storyboard was like that, you know.
Hi guys,
you.
I'm Patty, big fan. Want to know what kind of, if any, upcoming projects you got in the works that you are allowed to share with us?
Allowed to share? Allowed to share? No, I don't think so. There's a video game that has been in production for a while, and it was supposed to be done this spring, but last year I think they scooted it to like the end of this year. I'm hoping they announce things soon, so then I can actually share. So sorry to be so boring, but
No.
it is large-ish, I think. I don't game, but like there does seem to be a pretty big audience around this particular title. So yeah, that'll be exciting.
So we stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. I'm so sorry, it's boring.
Mainly, you know what? One of the nice things about getting older is I still audition, but I don't care if I get them or not. You know, if I get them, great. If I don't, I get to do this. I love doing this. I also am still mulling over a political career.
Maybe mayor?
Yeah, the weatherman
Mayor
in
of
Albuquerque almost became governor. And I thought, well, if a weatherman can almost become governor, I bet Iro could. But Deb Haaland, who I think was the Secretary of Interior under Biden, just announced she's going to run. And I'm an old white man. I am not going to run against an indigenous woman in New Mexico. I'm not going to do that. We've got enough white men. But I am thinking mayor of Albuquerque has a nice ring to it. A little more chill, you know. So we'll see how it goes, you know.
Don't forget, Bob Iger at Disney started out as a TV weatherman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I even never remember that. I'm doing all kinds of fun. The new Adventure Time and Invincible. I play a Shrinking Ray and Monster Girl, and there's new episodes coming out of that. And Critical Role, Vox Machina. We just finished some new episodes of that, and all kinds. And I play Martin Prince on The Simpsons and a bunch of things on The Simpsons. But my thing that I'm most passionate about is I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I go on tour. I'm going to England right after this to do a tour in England and all over Europe. And if you follow me on Spotify, I have Azula stickers at my table, and they're pretty big. They're like that big. And my son designed it, and it's gorgeous. And they're like sort of cool impressionistic Azulas. And all you have to do is follow me on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music or whatever, and just show me your phone, and I give you a free sticker, and that's all that you need to do. Thank you.
And I think we're all decently on. Yeah, are you still on X or not so much? A little bit.
It is not good for my for my blood
we're
pressure.
We're on social media.
Yeah, to be on. Yeah, I'm weaning. I'm not on it a lot
I
anymore.
left the Nazi platform, so I'm
Where
on
are you, Blue
Sky? I'm
Blue
on
Sky.
Blue Sky, and yeah. I can't give that man any more money than he already has. So,
So Blue Sky, not. Yeah, also Blue Sky.
I'm on Blue Sky. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
you
on Blue
are?
Sky. Mostly, I post on Blue
Instagram.
Sky now. Yeah.
I haven't switched over. Do you guys like it?
yeah, it's like old fun Twitter when Twitter was good.
Okay,
like way before
I got
he
you.
took over.
Yeah.
Now Twitter is just, I hate you. Now I hate you more. Now I hate you more.
I
you
stopped
find
using
out
Twitter
you-
a long time ago because I just was like, I don't know. I liked the images thing. So I was a big Tumblr girl. Any Tumblr friends? Like,
Oh my god, I had a person running my Tumblr account, like this is back in like 2012, who like started fighting with people. I had no idea they were having like a mental breakdown at the time. Oh my god. Still every now and again will run into someone who had some kind of terrible interaction with that person, and I'm just mortified because they're like, then like told them terrible, like I mean it was like it hurts my soul. But I've seen screenshots of some things that person said to people. It's funny though because the person was super into hip hop music, and I don't know anything about hip hop music, but they would like insult people like with some like call them like hip hop names and stuff like that, you know. And I was like, oh well, at least I haven't. I mean, anybody who knows me would be like, that's not gray.
Yeah,
but it still hurts my. And I have reached out because some people have gone. My friend like was suicidal in high school because she was fighting with you on Tumblr, and I was like, oh my god. I've actually called people and said like, it's me. I would never say that to somebody. I'm so sorry you had that experience, and if there's anything I can do, and it still takes. Some people still are like, okay, like I'm like,
yeah. They're like,
anyway,
no.
you know,
The internet is a crazy place.
So that was my Tumblr experience. But
Well,
the
I'm
funny
sorry.
thing is, like, I knew this person, so like, you know, some of the things I would tell them, put this on Tumblr because I'm putting this on Twitter.
Yeah.
So there was some correlation between our accounts,
so
it made it
seemed-
even worse. So anyway, but yeah.
So
but
the
the person
lesson
was
is
off their meds, and now they're
can't trust
healthy
anyone.
and fine. But
You know what? Actually, I gave Lauren all my passwords.
Oh my
And I said,
gosh.
she does my promotional thing. And I said, if I ever tweet or post anything that is going to get me canceled, pull that down right away. You know, don't ask me, just pull it down.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, we're on social media.
So we'll just Google it, and we'll avoid
you'll find us
the one with
somewhere.
the X on it. So we can leave that behind. You know, for the fair blue skies.
yes.
So funny.
Yeah. Me, I still like Insta, but it's
I know,
just
it's
pretty pictures.
I like the pictures. Yeah.
Pretty pictures and
Pictures,
animal
girl.
rescue videos. That's
Yeah.
what I live off.
The fake animal rescue videos that my friend was like,
Right,
"Oh,
yeah.
grandma." So I was like, "Have you seen the badger that they?" And
you're like,
look at
"That's
all the things,
not-"
and now it's in the shower, and and they found it as baby, and she's like, "This is just a bunch of different badgers."
That's
Yeah,
nine.
it's just
That's nine different badgers.
Different videos. The
But,
AI
but
too is getting
that's 9
freaky.
badgers that were all rescued. They just
makes me
compilated.
happy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The AI accounts are starting to get weird too because like once you hit a certain bracket of people, all the comments, "Oh, this is so cool," or "Oh, you look great," or whatever, and it's like, this isn't real. Why are you here?
Yeah, when there's like some like laser beam peacock or something,
Yeah.
and there's always some old lady going, "Isn't nature beautiful?" And it's like, no,
It's
it's
like,
AI.
No, Marie. It's
What's AI? Who is that? I don't know that.
I know Al. He runs the
Yeah, I
bowling
know
alley.
Al.
Yeah.
You can call me Al, I believe. Thank you, Paul Simon.
You will be
Oh,
going.
goodness
One final
gracious.
question. Would you all like to take a picture with this wonderful audience?
Sure.
Of course.
Alrighty.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
we're going to take our stage selfie. We're going to invite everybody. I think. Are we doing toward? Yeah, we'll do this
A little
towards the stage.
closer?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody come towards the stage, not on the stage. Towards the stage. Want to take a picture of this cast and all of you?
If you guys are close to the front by your seats, you can just kind of stand. But if you're on the sides and you want to join, definitely scoot in a little bit. We can see you here, but not sides as much. So let's get a little crew.
Basically works like this. If you can see, if you see his camera, then the camera can see you.
Oh, really?